Hi, everyone, and welcome to our social and emotional learning lesson today. Now, I know that you had something just like this the other day on your independent work, but I wanted to make sure that we got to have the conversation about some positive choices, some bucket filling choices, and some more negative choices or some dipping choices. Okay? So, all we're going to do is I'm going to pick a choice. We're going to take time to talk about it, and you can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down about how you feel that choice would go in a classroom, okay? And if parents, you feel like you need to stop and pause and have a conversation about it, you just feel like you need to do that, you just pause, okay? So, right over here, we have some positive choices, some bucket filling choices, and then we have some dipping choices, some negative choices, okay? So, if I had yelling, what do we think about yelling? Do we think yelling is a positive choice or a negative choice? Yeah, I think yelling is going to be more of a bucket dipping negative choice, especially with our speakers. Oh, it would just really hurt my ears. Good choices. All right, let's look at this one. Paying attention. Maybe having eyes on, listening, learning, paying attention. Do you think that's a positive choice or a negative choice? I think so too. I think this is definitely a bucket filling positive choice. Nicely done. Now, what about interrupting? That means when somebody's talking, cutting in and talking over them. What do you think? Yeah, I think that kind of goes in our sad choices. I think it's definitely bucket dipping because I'm sure the person that was talking had something very important to say. Okay? We want to be respectful of our friends when they're speaking and give them time to finish their thoughts. What about sitting nicely? Yeah, I think that's a great choice too. So I would say that definitely fills somebody's bucket. It fills your bucket because you're safe. It fills your mom or your dad's or your caregiver's bucket because you're sitting nicely for your lesson. And it definitely fills my bucket because if you're sitting nicely, I can see you and I like seeing your face. What about having a quiet voice? Yeah, definitely keeping ourselves muted when it's not our turn. Definitely making sure that we wait our turn to talk and not yelling into our microphones. I think that would definitely be a pretty good choice. What about using our listening ears? You're right. That's definitely a bucket filling choice because then your brain will be happy because it got new information. You'll be happy because you learned something, but also I'll be happy because I know that you're listening and learning. That fills everybody's buckets. What about talking during my lessons or when your mom or dad or your caregiver is trying to teach you? Yeah, I think that's a bucket dipping choice. I don't think that's a great choice. You should definitely pay attention and use your quiet voice. When your brain is learning, it needs to listen. And if you're talking, you're not really listening. Okay? So for your brains to grow, we need to do good listening. What about fighting? And that doesn't have to be with your hands, it could be arguing. What do you think that would be? A positive choice or a negative choice? Yeah, I think that's definitely a negative bucket dipping choice. I think if I had friends fighting on the screen, I think that would make me kind of sad. And probably my other friends sad too. Let's take a look at this last one. What about doing your work? You're right. I think doing your work is going to fill your bucket because you're going to grow smarter and more confident. I think it's going to fill my bucket because I'm going to see that you're learning. And I think it's going to fill everybody's bucket because you're helping each other by setting a good example. Okay? So I think that's definitely a great choice. So I think we did a great job talking about what could be a positive choice that fills a bucket and a negative choice that dips from a bucket. So I hope this helps you better understand some of our expectations with bucket filling and hopes to help you have a good conversation.